The irony of Mulembe nation revolting against the Ruto regime, while Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Masika Wetangula are right in the decision-making stable, is something that puzzles many. And the question is, why is Mulembe nation sending mixed signals? What exactly is happening? Welcome to the Bold Analysis. My name is Kevin Oduor. I want us to dive deep into the latest riot and the rants against UDA that was convened today and was led by one Bungoma Governor Kenneth Lusaka. In a stormy press briefing, they are actually saying the unthinkable that I want us to look at. These two gentlemen you're seeing in your screen, Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, are the highest ranking members of the society among the Mulembe nation in this country. Wetangula is third most powerful person after William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. Then Musalia Mudavadi is the fourth most powerful person in the nation's leadership. However, their foot soldiers seems to be contradicting government stand and not to show that they are wrong, but pursuing what, according to them, is the interest. And I really support that. Let's look at it, and I stand with them on this matter. Bungoma Governor Kenneth Lusaka and his Senator Wafoli, who is a very close ally of Moses Masika Wetangula, and Kiminini Member of Parliament Radia-Baraza, and I think another Member of Parliament there, are taking Ruto head on. And they're saying, you can privatize everything you want to privatize, but don't dare touch Nzoia Sugar Company. Now, I want you to listen to that stormy press briefing here.
Wamechukua msimamo kwamba Nzoia Sugar Company, vile tulizungumza wakati economic forum ambayo ilikuwa kule Kimilili, ilikuwa ni kwamba tupewe mashini mpya, wakulima walipwe, halafu management ilainishwe ili Nzoia iweze kufanya kazi. Kwa hivyo msimamo ni kwamba mambo ya privatization kupitia kwa viongozi hawa wakulima wamekataa.
If you want to privatize Nzoia, you can do some benchmarking. Yes. And you can benchmark from Mumias here. If you benchmark from what happened to Mumias as you privatized it, look the way it is. You have to bring the same problem to Nzoia. As it stands today, Nzoia is the only strong farm that is producing sugar in Kenya. The centrality of our constitution is with the people. There is nobody who can sit somewhere or anywhere else and come up with an idea of privatizing Nzoia Sugar without floating the idea to the people of Bungoma. And the position of the people of Bungoma is that Nzoia Sugar's rules should not follow Mumias Sugar. And we are not going to allow anybody, whether you are the minister or anybody dreaming. The last time, and the Governor Ken Lusaka can attest to this, when he was Speaker of the Senate, the last time when there was an attempt to privatize Nzoia Sugar, by then the chairman, Honorable late Henry Obocha, even the Ken farmers almost physically assaulted him. So this shows that the people of Bungoma are not ready to allow anybody, man or woman, forget about private, even conceiving the idea of privatizing Nzoia Sugar. That's not acceptable.
Nzoia ndicho kiwanda tulichonacho kwa sasa na haitawezekana kukiwachilia pasipo kujaribu mbinu zote ziwezekanazo kuhakikisha kwamba kinaamuka. Na sisi kitamaduni usema kama bibi amekushinda hauwezi kumuua ama kumjeruhi, unamrejesha kwa wenyewe.
Now, that is not something very new. Just recently, Bon Khalwale, who is the whip in the Senate, also while attending an event in Kakamega that was graced by the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, came out and told off Kenya Kwanza leadership against the move and warned them, or rather cautioned them against the move to privatize Mumias sugar. Is it a coincidence that these things are happening now? Now let me get a snippet of how Boni was very angry at this issue.
Mmesema last week kwamba kampuni za serikali zitakuwa privatized, na ndani ya hizo kampuni tuko na kampuni zetu za miwa, Nzoia Sugar Company and Mumias Sugar Company. I beg you, mimi kama kiongozi kutoka jamii yetu ya Waluya, babu zetu walipeana 12,500 acres Mumias Sugar Company, wakapeana 24,500 acres Nzoia Sugar Company. If you privatize, somebody will go away with ancestral land. Sisi hatuwezi unga mkono maneno ya kuprivatize Nzoia Sugar Company and Mumias Sugar Company. No.
When you see people organizing press briefing, there is no press briefing that is normally just done by a coincidence. They don't just not one person just makes a call in this instance saying that we want to meet the people and talk about this issue. If you look at the people that attended and look at the attendees, people who spoke in that meeting, Kenneth Lusaka is the governor of Bungoma. That I think that's where the Nzoia Sugar is. Then we have Kimilili MP, who is a UDA MP. Governor is on Ford Kenya. The senator is there, is also on Ford Kenya. And then there is the member of parliament, who is also on ANC. So what am I saying here? That prior to that press briefing by Kenneth Lusaka, I am persuaded that they met, they discussed, and they decided that, okay, after this discussion, we are going to address the press, and this is what we are going to talk about. Now, from this, it means that it has been boiling, or rather, the discussion about that privatization has been boiling. And I am just worried. From my place in Siaya, I don't know that someone should tell me what can be privatized there in the privatization list, if there is anything from, not Siaya, but Nyanza. And so who's gonna speak for us if the trend is about people speaking for themselves? And I support Mulembe Nation on this. Because that has to be it. That has to be it. Sometimes you need to speak what exactly is about you. They are very right on pushing or questioning this privatization of Mumias and Nzoia. My personal position has been that the privatization hype, to me, yes, government is going to get some money because they're selling, but it's just a way of changing hands. If the company has a problem, the farmers have not been paid, and that gentleman was saying the farmers has not been paid. Do we have enough market for our sugar? Yes. Is there a way? What needs to be fixed? I've been saying that privatization of these entities, to me, is just an escape route. We needed just to look into, delve deep and ask ourselves, what is wrong? What can be fixed? What cannot be fixed? So that if it is management, we fix management. If it is the matter of the market, let's fix the market so that the sugar bill, and you know the sugar bill has been taken back to the National Assembly. Let's revisit the sugar bill so that we create an environment where, irrespective of whether the company is under government or is under individual, it can still thrive. At the end of the day, it can still inject sugar in our supply chain, and the farmers and other stakeholders can also get their share. In fact, my position has been, let's work into a strategy or a framework that will make sure that the sector is working out. It only needs putting our act together. But selling it is an escape route, or maybe we know the solution, but we don't want to do it as a government. We know we can do it as individuals. Now, these rants, however, could be having an okay from Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. That's just my thinking. I insist that Mudavadi and Wetangula are conflicted because this is not the approach that William Ruto wants. If you know, William Ruto is a man who thrives in secrecy and boardroom. Now you will call boardroom and come out and brave face, put up the brave face and tell you there is no problem. We have fixed it. This is being managed. So Ruto is not a man that likes washing the dirty linen in public. You will, if you study Ruto, especially during in the wake of towards last year's general election, the way he was managing defections and those who feel disgruntled after the nomination, you could understand how he does his politics. So law has changed. The law was changed, and Parliament was absolved of its oversight responsibility, or rather its oversight role in the process of privatization. So now the privatization exercise is midwifed within the executive and probably extension of the treasury, an extension from the treasury. But Parliament is no longer having an input into this. So this is why you can see the leaders are now speaking about it outside Parliament. But there is a sugar bill that was presented, I think, by Dan Wanyama. We'll try to follow it and see maybe whether it can help cure this. Mulembe is sending mixed reactions, mixed signals. And that's why I'm saying David is conflicted. Even though it's possible, even in Mount Kenya, we're seeing mixed signals from the other side regarding the rebels. But Mulembe also is showing this, and they're coming out publicly. Clearly, there is something you are seeing. Has boardroom intervention failed? Because 2 weeks ago, Kalwali spoke about it in the presence of Deputy President. So I know very well that Deputy President might have picked up this matter with President William Ruto. But then, after 2 weeks, it's still getting to the public and people are still speaking about it, warning the government about it. So do you want to tell me that when Body spoke about it, Rigathi did not pick it? Rigathi picked it, but there is a miss somewhere. This is why I understand Mulembe is sending big signals. Musalia Mudavadi deliverables to the Mulembe nation under the 30% deal has turned out a long con. 30% share cannot be felt. It's not available. We're in this country. The reality here is, when Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula went and told the voters in Western, and even the leaders, that let's follow William Ruto, we are going to get 30%, the understanding would be that some of these leaders that coalesced around Wetangula and Musalia were also looking for ways. This 30% probably, I'm going to get my wife, my brother, my friend, my girlfriend a job somewhere under the umbrella of the 30%. So by all means, maybe there are also promises. Out of your 30%, Lusaka, you'll bring 2 people, so and so you'll bring 5 people, so and so you'll bring 1 person. It's here. So that 30% cannot be felt, and there is no bragging right for it, by the way. So that is why people are losing the conformity with the UDA, because the agreement of the 30% is not there. In fact, despite of it, what is actually happening here is that when Malala was picked as the UDA SG, he started a very heinous process of folding ANC and Ford Kenya. And that went against, in Bungoma, the party is Ford, by the way. So there seems to be a lot going on, and it has turned out, to my understanding, that 30% has remained a con. If just look at the trend, I don't think the Mulembe nation is 30%, have 30% shareholding in the Ruto Rigathi company. I don't see, but you can challenge me on this. Now, it is not a coincidence that the guns are blazing against UDA, especially on the sugar sector. It's not a coincidence that the leaders are now speaking in one voice when it comes to this sugar sector. From what I can see, there could be an inside plot for takeover of the sugar sector by the big men. Possible that maybe high profile and consequential leaders are now planning to take over the sugar industry. And maybe that's what people are seeing in that privatization. And so it's not about, they're saying that the land belongs to them. Their ancestors decided to cede land for construction of the company, or rather for the establishment of the two companies. And so if it is privatized, then that land gonna go to someone, or maybe that land will not be valued. It will not help the people. So because the locals gave the land, ancestors there gave the land, there is their reasoning why that should not be privatized, because it's a property of the community. And I totally agree, because I believe those majority of those who are employed in those companies should be from the neighborhood, which is the Mulembe nation. So they are only saying, maybe Mudavadi, Tangula, they've realized, oh, there is a takeover going on here. So what you need to do, we are helpless at the top. Sometimes you send your soldiers to shout down there. Then from that, it gets the attention. Collapse of the devolution is also partly in what is going on. Mixed signals. It is not normal. Let's agree. If counties have not been paid, have not received money for the last 4 months, counties are employing people. Even county staff have bills. They've not paid. Plus even the governor himself have bills. So do you want to tell me that things are normal? Yes. We are staring at the death of devolution. And that could be why people are no longer conforming with the UDA patterns. And so you can just send the mixed signals. I also see two things. Personal fortunes, you cannot remove that. There are also people that want money to exchange hands. It's highly possible. It's a practice in this country. And also, maybe people are charting their own paths because Ruto's UDA scorecard is diminishing. I don't know what you think. Tell me why Mulembe Nation is sending mixed signal, or it is just clearly defending their property. Thank you very much for watching. Let's meet in the next.